Hey, welcome to Tuesday Tea Time with Dorina. Uh, I am okay. First, let me welcome all those that are first time viewers to Tuesday Tea Time and those that will be watching the replay. Welcome. We are from Women of Wisdom. We are a nonprofit organization here to empower teen girls and women with practical wisdom and confidence. We are here to bridge that generational gap between the younger generation and the older generation because we need each other, right? Okay, wouldn't you not agree with that? We need each other. Okay, so that's why we are here for you. Okay, all right. So I just celebrated, yay, my 60th birthday. And so I'm excited because wow, it was amazing. So anyway, my children got all together and flew one of my sons in and was surprising me with him. And then they turned around and got me a iPad Pro. Okay, so I am using for the first time my iPad Pro. So if I look like I don't know what I'm doing, then that's the reason why. Okay, so you already know that I usually like to share with you uh, my tea that I got, and I got so many uh, tea presents and things like that, and teacups. So I got a new tea that I'm trying out, and oh my goodness, I tried it out earlier, and it is so good. Oh my goodness, I recommend this tea. Okay, so anyway, this is called Green Flower Robust. Okay, it's called Green Flower Robust. Look at that. Okay, so it's made by the T Smith. I am going to start going to the T Smith. You got to look that up. So anyway, even my new butterfly cup. So I'm sharing that tonight too. So yay, it's tea time. So I hope that you all have your beverages and join in with me and fill your cup up with lots of wisdom. All right. This tea is good. So last week we talked about what we was going to talk about this week. So we are going to talk about, let me put that up here. Soul ties. Okay. Our wisdom topic is soul ties. Okay. So, you know what? Let me tell you this. You really should tag somebody, share this video with somebody that maybe, young, single mothers, single women, even, those that I don't know. You don't even have to be single. You could just be caught up, in relationships with people that are unhealthy. So we are talking about soul ties tonight. And I'm a little excited about this because, a lot of people don't really understand that soul ties is not always connected to a sexual relationship. How about that? Okay, so the soul, if you break it down, is makeup is the mind, the will, and the emotions. Okay, so if there's a soul tie, we're talking about your mind, your will, and your emotions. Okay, so you can be connected to people unhealthily through your mind, your will, and your emotions. Okay. So it doesn't have to be a sexual relationship, it can be a relationship that you have with a parent, a sibling, a cousin, a best friend, or, somebody like that. Anybody that you have a close relationship with, you can have a soul tie with them. So that could be healthy or it could be unhealthy. Okay. So you want to make sure that whatever kind of relationships you're having with people that are close to you, you want to make sure those relationships are healthy. Okay. So I'm going to share with you actually our last uh, annual workshop. I At the breakout session, this was one of the subjects that I talked about, was soul ties. And so I just felt the need to share with you, our viewing audience, more about this soul tie thing, so you can get in this information and break those unhealthy soul ties and recognize, uh, you know, the signs of soul ties. Okay. So that's what we're talking about today. And so I want to share with you, I don't know if you ever heard of Dr. Daniel Amen. Some people have heard of him, but he wrote this book. And in this book, it says, change your brain, change your life. Okay. Change your brain, change your life. That's a powerful statement. Okay. So what he was saying that, okay, well, let me say this before I say that. When it comes to a soul tie and it comes to someone that you are intimately or sexually involved with, the sexual side enhances the soul tie. So you can have a soul tie with someone that you are in relationship with, but once you have sex with that person, that enhances or intensifies the relationship. That's the reason why a lot of people that have sexual relationships outside of marriage get caught up in that relationship with that person. And when they find out that they don't really want to be in a relationship with that person anymore, it's hard to break it off because the sexual side enhanced that attachment, because it is an attachment. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you because I'm getting ready to share this with you. Okay, so whenever a person is sexually involved with another person, check this out. This goes all the way down to the scientific side of things. Neurochemical changes occur in both their brain that encourage limbic emotional bonding. Okay. Limbic bonding is the reason casual sex doesn't really work for most people on a whole mind and body level. Okay. Okay. Because I looked this up. I'm just, I'm reading this and I'm sharing this with you. Okay, so two people may decide to have sex just for the fun of it, yet something occurs on another level that they might not have decided on at all. So the sex is enhancing an emotional bond between them, whether they want it or not. That's why you got to be careful about who you get involved with on a intimate level. And this was, oh my goodness, this was so good because I'm just going to be honest with you. You know, in my younger years, I was promiscuous. And what that means is, I was out there. I had a lot of bed partners. I was out there. And so I am telling you from experience that you do not want to have a bunch of soul ties with a bunch of different men folk or women folk, because today people are losing their identity and they're getting caught up in premarital sex, and is causing mental issues because soul ties deals with an emotional bond, a mental bond, and a will bond. So you start having trouble even with your will, what you will to do. And so we get so caught up with people that we can't even think on our own. And we need them we want their input, and we lose our identity. We lose our ability to think on our own because we're so caught up, you know, with this soul tie with people. And so, there's unhealthy soul ties because people get caught up in relationships and it's abusive, and you can't seem to get out of that abusive relationship because you have a unhealthy soul tie with that person, and it's hard to break that off. Well, you know what? By the time we get done, I'm going to give you some key information that's going to help you break that soul tie and keep it broke. Only if you apply the information, it's going to work for you, okay? Because there is no such thing as, we pixie dust, you just sprinkle a little something and boom, like magic, it worked. No, it takes effort, and you have to do the necessary steps to break soul ties with unhealthy people, okay? Okay, so is you can have a soul tie relationship with a close friend, a best friend, but when you get too close to people, you are not even in a place where you're being manipulated. You lose that ability to uh discern, whether or not you're being manipulated or used. And so, it's important that you are hooked up with the right people, okay? And so, it's kind of like that saying, you can't see the forest for the trees. That is a very true statement. Okay. So there are three reasons. I'm not going to share all three reasons with you, but unhealthy soul ties take place. Okay. So the one that I want to share with you is that people are misinformed and therefore convinced that sex is strictly a single dimensional physical act with no emotional or spiritual connection. That is totally not true. Yet after sex, they find themselves mysteriously longing for the person they may not even like. Now, come on, if you've been in that situation, you know what I'm talking about. But if you have not been in that situation, do not get into that situation. Wisdom, I've shared this before, but wisdom is the ability to use knowledge correctly. Okay. So we want you to use knowledge correctly and take the knowledge and apply it to your life so that you don't make those mistakes that I made, or some of us older people have made. Or even if you're making that mistake now, you can get out of it and not be more damaged, in your soul, in your there are people that are committing suicide over stuff like this because they have unhealthy soul tie. This is a serious issue. And so it's important that you apply the knowledge and the wisdom that you receive. Okay. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to say was, you know, some of us have had unhealthy soul ties even with our parents, and you know what, I would have to say I already know I had an unhealthy soul tie with my dad. And the reason why is because, most people know my story. My mom passed away when I was 11 months. And so my dad was the only parent that I knew. And so he didn't remarry until I was about 12 years old. And so, I cling to my dad. He was like everything to me. I wanted to be just like him. And that is so unhealthy, and so some of you can identify with that have been raised by a single mom, and you've had an unhealthy soul tie with your one parent, that was raising you. And so those things, you know we find ourselves doing things that are not really who we are, but because we were so connected to that person in an unhealthy way, we are repeating their habits, and we picked up some of their traits and characteristics, and we need to learn how to break those things because I know there's some out there that have been hurt, by your single parent, and um, you know, I've never really been emotionally uh abused by my dad, but one time I was physically abused by him. But you know, uh that's something that you have to break off, okay? Because some of us are still repeating bad habits because of that relationship. And it all goes back to that unhealthy soul tie that we had with that parent, And so, some have been, maybe they drink or something, or, was caught up in drugs or something, and they abused you. And so now, because you've been abused by them, you think that being abused is the way that you're supposed to live. And that is unhealthy. You were not put on this earth to be abused by anyone. No one should be abusing you. You shouldn't even be abusing your own self. We need to learn how to treat our own selves. And once we learn how to treat our own selves, we'll stop allowing other people to treat us any kind of way. Okay? Because you can require respect from people, but that requirement has to match the fact that you respect your own self. See, because people got to go by what you show them. And if you're showing them that you don't even respect yourself, most people, they don't have respect for that. And so let's talk about some signs. Let's talk about some signs that you can identify a unhealthy soul tie. Okay, you are in a physical and emotional or spiritual abusive relationship but feel so attached to them that you refuse to cut off the connection and set boundaries with them. Wow. I'm going to read that again. You are in a physical and emotionally and spiritually abusive relationship, but you feel so attached to that person that you refuse to cut off the connection and set boundaries with them. Okay, you know what? You have to set boundaries with people. You can't allow people to just treat you any old kind of way. But when you're in an unhealthy soul tie, that's the reason why you have to step back, look at the situation for what it is. You know what? Sometimes it's good to just go on a retreat. Sometimes it's good to I was talking to somebody this past weekend. They were talking about how they went on um a silent retreat, and um you know, it did them some good, and I've been on a silent retreat before, and it just really helps you to evaluate a lot of things and think about a lot of things and see things from a different perspective, where you're not in that busy scene where you just always trying to, or you always have to try to figure out, okay, what's next, what do I do next, what do I do about this situation or that situation. Sometimes it's just good to just step out of the situation, go on a retreat or something, get away from the situation so that you can start looking at that situation for what it is. I've said this before, and I'm sure that I'll continue to say this again, but you have to learn how to look at and not look for. Looking at is looking at things for what they truly are. Looking for is looking for things to be the way you want them to be. And when you look at things the way you want them to be, that is not going to reveal truth to you, because sometimes we see things the way we want them to be because that's what we want. And it's not even reality, it's not even truth. And we're deceiving ourselves and being deceived by other people. And so you want to make sure that you're looking at the situation for what it is. I was telling a young lady that, and I've done this myself and got myself in trouble. And sometimes you can see potential. You can see potential in people, and you think, wow, this person's got a lot of potential. I could help them become who they need to be, and we'll hook up with them. And they're not even trying to reach that potential their own selves, but because we see the potential, we get caught up in that. And we're looking for what we want to see come to pass instead of looking at what it really is, that person really don't even want anything out of life. They may have the potential, but what's that if you don't do anything with it? Get what I'm saying? Let's take a tea break. Tea time. This is some good tea. Liking this. Okay, another sign that you are in a unhealthy soul tie is you have left a relationship, maybe long ago, but you think about that other person obsessively. You can't get that person out of your mind. And you know what? Really, let me take a moment and speak to the young ladies that have not made that decision yet to be in a relationship. Let's say it like that. Listen to me. It's better for you to not start a relationship like that, Because when you find your soulmate, when you find the person that you really want to be with, all the people that you were with prior to that is a part of your relationship. Unless you learn how to cut that soul tie out, all those people are a part of your relationship. And it's a whole lot, or it's less complicated. You're in your mind, in your emotions, when you wait to be with someone and do that the right way. Now, I know that's not popular, and a lot of people don't really want to hear that or have to discipline themselves in order to have that type of life. But let me tell you this, it's the best life. And you know, people are not going to tell you the truth. People are not going to tell you that, it's complicated. Having sex with people is complicated. And when you start tying yourself to people emotionally, it's complicated. And when you're young like that, your brain has not even fully developed yet. And so now you got all this neurochemical issues going on in your brain, and your brain is still not even developed yet. It's complicated. And that's the reason why there's depression, there's suicide, and there's all these other issues, because we emotionally tied ourselves to someone that was not worthy of who we are. And and I'm just telling you like it is, because you must know the truth, and you must do this thing right so that your life can be filled with peace and not complicated. Now, some of you can look at your parents and see what I'm talking about is true. Don't make the same mistake that we made. Do it right. Okay? All right. Wow, I didn't know I had all these comments, because like I said, I'm on this iPad for the first time. I got Connie on here. Connie says she loves this. All right. I got KD on here, said, let's go. I wanna retreat. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Okay, Connie said this is good. Yeah, we got a lot of facts. Yeah, all right. Yeah, so we gotta help our young people to make the right decisions, and know that they are making the right decisions, and to not have the problems, that because now we got babies and no daddies around, or sometimes you got the daddy raising the baby and no mama around, and that creates another unhealthy soul tie, because the best way for a child to be raised is to have the mom and the dad both there, and they get a balance, well, let's put it like this, a balanced meal, so to speak. So whatever is being implanted in their minds, they're getting what they need to get from a dad that only a dad can give, and they're getting what only a mom can give, because you can be uh, a single mom, but if you're a single mom, you cannot give that child what the father can give them, and vice versa. If you're a single father raising a child, you cannot give that child what only the mother can give them. And I am a witness to that, let me tell you, because I was raised by my dad, and for most of my childhood, and he could not be a mom to me. And so in my situation, it was because my mom had passed away. My mom and dad were married before I was born, but because she passed away after me, my dad had to raise me. And so there was a lot of things that he uh was unable to impart in me, because there are some things that are more caught than taught. It comes from hanging around people. You can hang around people. That's why you got to be careful by hanging around the wrong people, because you can develop a unhealthy soul tie hanging around the wrong people. Okay, so let me go ahead. I was thinking I may have to come back and talk about this again, because I only gave you two things about, the uh, the signs of being in an unhealthy soul tie. But there was some things that I wanted to share with you that will help you break that soul tie. And so one of the things that you have to do, I'll share this with you, to break a unhealthy soul tie is let's see, I don't know if this thing go up or down. Okay. uh is forgiveness to the person who hurt you. Now listen, forgiveness to the person that hurt you will break a soul tie. Now you're not excusing that person's behavior, so don't get that confused. You're not excusing their behavior just because you forgive them. You're freeing yourself from holding that grudge and holding that resentment towards that person. Because when you hold that towards them, you're actually staying connected to that person through your emotions and through your will and through your mind. And so, one of the most important things that you need to do to break a soul tie is to forgive the person that hurt you. And you may be thinking to yourself, I can't do that. Yes, you can. It just takes a quality decision to do so, because you need to free your own self. Let me tell you, I know what I'm talking about, because I was holding on to some unforgiveness. Can you believe it? I had unforgiveness towards my mom because she died, and I thought, as a child, I'm thinking to myself, she did me wrong. She left me. And I didn't even realize that, until, I started, crying out for a deeper life, a deeper revelation in life. And that's when I found that out. And I had to let that go. And because I decided to do that, I am a lot healthier today. Let me tell you, I would call myself a professional grudge holder. Okay. And I started actually having physical issues, because a lot of people don't realize how serious holding unforgiveness will affect your life. And so that's one of the things that you need to do to break a soul tie. I'm gonna share this, and then I'm gonna let you guys go. Ask yourself, what soul tie I need to release. Take note and write it down. This is stuff that's going to help you break soul ties. And I have to share this one with you. Whatever you have that you received from that person that you have a unhealthy soul tie with, or somebody that you just need to break soul ties with, whatever you have, whatever they have given you, whatever you have that reminds you of them, get rid of it. Get rid of it, because it's causing you to stay connected to that person. And once you get rid of it, that will help you break that tie. Okay. Yep. Connie said yes. Yep. Because that's true. Okay. So I hope that all you that watch this video will take the information, run with it, apply it to your life. I don't know, for some reason I think I need to repeat this. I don't know why. Ask yourself, what soul ties I need to release. Okay? Take note and write it down. Okay? What's unhealthy? Who do you have an unhealthy relationship with that you're having all these issues with, and they're creating issues in your life? People that are creating issues in your life, you need to break that off. Okay. All right. Okay. So this is Tuesday Tea Time with Dorina, and I'm so glad that you joined me tonight. And I want to remind you that not only do I love you, but also walk in wisdom. All right. Until next Tuesday, I will see you. And oh my goodness, let's see, what did I have for next week? Well, you know what? I think maybe we'll just have to come back and talk about soul ties again next week. Okay. All right. Have a great night.